Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hot Takes podcast. My name is Nick, and joining me as usual, we have Michael and Christian. Before we get into
Hello.
our main topic today, for those on Spotify or YouTube, we are now fully rendered as beautiful PNGs produced by our friends Jesse and Jill. I will link their profiles in the description. You may remember us talking about this at the end of the sub versus dub episode that we would be PNG tubers, and we finally made that happen. So shout out to them. Go check out their work. And yeah, now we'll
They have digitized us.
yeah. Now we'll get into the main topic. What the fuck, guys? I mean, I leave for one episode.
What can I say? It was just the natural course of action as we were deciding what to do. We were naturally drawn to criticizing you.
Which is really funny because I mentioned this to you guys afterwards as I was editing, that I actually suggested that as like another time when I was busy. If you wanted to record, you could do an episode criticizing me. And I should have known, you would just naturally end up there anyways.
The real challenge for any podcast without you there, Nick, is for Christian and I to sit in a conversation for more than 15 minutes where we don't just derail it by making fun of
you. True, the opportunity is just too tempting.
Yeah. Well, I did say,
all out of love.
Have fun while I'm not around. So,
you didn't really expect us to do a good thing, and then we did a thing, not a good thing.
I mean, to be fair, it was very much just like, hey, just sit down for like an hour and record. You know, that was the idea. So
it was real. You know.
Yeah, but yeah. So today we're gonna be. Or I guess really more, I'm going to be reacting to some of the things you said, and we're going to talk a bit more about, mainly I think the things that I've dropped. I'll give a bit of an explanation, for why, and maybe you can convince me to give it another shot. First off, I do...
Yeah, or we can further criticize you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vote for that one, actually.
Yeah. One thing that was a confusing part of the episode is that, so we all use Analyst to track the anime that we've watched. Christian and I both use the 3-point smiley system. So basically everything's either a happy face, frowny face, or just a neutral face. And Michael actually scores things out of 10. So apparently,
because I'm not a psychopath.
So apparently, for your Michael, who was pointing out the scores, so all of the faces do have a score behind them just for calculating stats. So you were seeing actual scores and complaining that things were the same, when in reality it was just the fact that my system is not as in-depth. I did briefly experiment, and some of that did actually show up with doing it out of 5 at least, just because I basically already have a 4-point scale, so I was kind of like, I can easily adjust this to a 5-point scale. Didn't quite feel like putting in the full effort at the time, so I might revisit at some point and do that, but yeah, right now it's just 3-point smiley face system. So
I think the 3-point system leaves a lot to be desired, because mostly I'm looking at your list now, and you gave this show called Bad Girl that you said it wasn't what I was expecting and only watched 1 episode of, effectively the same score that you gave Hunter x Hunter. You have admitted to being like, I will probably go back and watch that at some point.
Yeah, it does leave a lot to be decided. So the other thing is, and this is a criticism I've heard of my reviews, is I do tend to not be too negative on things. And there's 2 kind of reasons for this. One, I think I just, in general, rate things higher. I have a pretty high tolerance for watching mediocre and even bad things. I would say. Less so these days, just because
You sure about that?
Well,
I'm looking at this
I
drop.
know.
Are you sure about that?
So it's changed a little, just because I kind of realized like there are so many things I want to watch, read, play, listen to. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm going to just drop it a lot earlier. So that's been like a trend. Is I used to like watch things all the way through as long as it was kind of watchable. And then now I'm much more likely to, there's kind of in this like free episode rule is often suggested for anime. I'm much more likely to follow that. You'll notice there are still ones that I drop after that. Again, we're going to talk about some of these. But yeah, so because of that, my reviews tend to skew more positive because, that's a change I kind of made after we launched the website. And it's a lot harder to write a review if you only watch like an episode or two or three of something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I disagree with that. I think it's hard to write a review if you don't have an opinion on it. Which I think a lot of these that you dropped, you probably just don't have that strong of an opinion.
Yeah, that's actually probably more fair, is that many of the things they're not bad, they're not good. They're just there. And for me, that is I'm going to drop it because I have other things to do that I'll probably enjoy or can at least give a shot. But yeah, I don't have much to say about it. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into some of the things that were talked about. I have a few criticisms specifically aimed at Michael, but we can save.
I think we gotta go ugly early here, Nick. You did not like a lot of shows that just generally people like. So I want to give you a chance to explain yourself.
So I know that Gurren Lagann is the one that you're probably thinking of. Yeah. So that was, I think, around like May or sometime this year. I know I watched it this year. Yeah. And actually, Christian, I sent some messages in an anime channel and a Discord server we're both in that you could have seen and you could have known my opinion about this already.
I must have missed it.
Yeah.
Hey, I read all the time.
Gurren Lagann, honestly, I could probably change here to a neutral face rather than a unhappy face, because I don't think it's actually really accurate to say that I actively disliked it. It's actually more the fact I just wasn't really all that engaged by it.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. that
what part of it like didn't engage you? Like, it's been a while since I've seen the show, but I remember being a pretty fast-paced show.
I mean, yeah, no, I would say it's pretty fast-paced, but I just didn't actually really care about I guess the struggle that the people are going through, or the specific characters,
You heard it here. He's not a man of the people.
I am not a man of the people, I guess, Yeah, no, it just I just didn't really care about what they were fighting for, I guess. That's really it. It's like, okay, cool, they've gotten out of this hole, they're fighting these aliens, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like I can understand why Gurren Lagann might not be a show for some people. It's a little odd, but like, I don't know. I feel like you normally make it a few more episodes into Gurren Lagann before you're like, okay, no, this is definitely not it. Like,
yeah, I mean, this is again
the first few episodes.
The semi like official free episode rule, which we can debate whether or not that's really true, because I can think of anime that don't meet that rule that I really like. Where if I were to recommend it and you only watch the first 3 episodes, you might not want to watch the whole thing. But if you watch like the first 6, yeah, at that point you're probably in. So yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to giving this one another shot if you were to tell me, you know what, you really need to watch to like episode 7. If you still don't like it,
I think you really need to watch to like episode like 18 or something.
Okay.
I think that's when you can stop.
Okay.
So with kind of that 3-episode rule in mind, jumping gears to another very popular show that you've dropped.
Which one?
Hunter x Hunter is one that frequently people say you need to watch like the first 5 or 6 episodes and then you'll like it. You made it through 10.
Yeah.
You made it through the Hunter exam and then you gave up, which is astounding.
Well, the Hunter exam is like the first thing. You reach that like episode 4.
Yeah, that's the start of the show.
Episode 5, and that's why people say the 3-episode rule doesn't work for Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. I will say, like, for anything that is a much longer show, I'm more willing to ignore that rule, because obviously if it's like 200 episodes, 3 episodes is a very small amount of that. So I'm willing to stretch it a bit more, and that's why I did watch 10 here. The thing is, I just didn't find the Hunter exam interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't care about it at all. I was just... I didn't find...
How far into the Hunter's exam did you get?
So this would be... They were, like, doing these one-on-one matches over, like, a pit, is where
Dude, that's where you stopped?
Yeah.
That's when it starts getting good, actually.
Yeah, that's what it starts getting good.
It's like the fucking tunnel... The first thing, like the tunnel race, who cares? Like, that's...
Yeah, the tunnel race is whatever.
Like, once you get past that...
They did have a character named Nicholas there, though. He didn't make it.
They do have a Nicholas.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, you never see him again.
Yeah. No, he got eliminated early, and I was like, oh, cool. Great.
And so some of the people that get eliminated do come back in like 50 episodes.
Oh, okay, but
Nicholas does not.
That's weird, because I feel like they gave him a not insignificant amount of screen time for the episodes he's around.
That's why it's weird, because they gave some other people that don't make it through the Hunter exam no screen time, and then they come back.
Oh. Well then. But yeah, I would also say of the 4 characters, I wasn't particularly attached to any of them. So
Damn.
That's understandable that far in, I will say.
Yeah.
I think you have to get like 40 episodes in until you care about anyone that isn't named Karapika, realistically.
40 episodes represents like a quarter of the show.
So it is very Karapika heavy until like episode 70, and then they start doing things with the other characters, and then you like the other characters.
We'll get some good stuff early.
That's true. That's true with the assassin family arc.
Yeah, but
and then
basically,
the Heavens Arena.
The reason episode 10 was more or less, I wasn't all that interested. I was like, okay, maybe I'll at least finish the arc. But the arc is like 20, 25, somewhere in there. So I was like, oh, I'm only halfway through this. Never mind, I'm just going to drop it instead.
I think you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you will like the York New City arc. I don't know if you'll like everything after that. You will like York New. Breed Island and Chimera Ant and the election, all that stuff, they're great. I love it. I think those are some of the best parts of the show. You will love York New City arc.
I feel like you should at least try to get through like the full Hunter's exam arc.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm gonna restart it from episode 11, I guess. You know, like I still remember the show well enough.
I guess so. But you at least push through that. Like, what did you say it was, like 25 episodes, bro?
Yeah.
Come on, we watched like one show in one day, a couple times.
Yeah, more than once.
And you don't even know what the power system in the universe is yet. Like, you haven't even made it that far.
I think that's a flaw of the show, then, you know?
No, it isn't a flaw of the show. There's a reason.
You know what, Nick? You know what?
Reason.
You're a flaw of the show, bitch.
You just haven't made it far enough yet to know why we don't know what it is yet. There's a plot reason. They've already showed it. You just don't know they've been doing it.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess since you did spend a whole episode figuring out to recommend that show to me, and we've talked about it
We
again
spent
here.
the whole episode trying to come up with a show, and then we noticed you dropped Hunter x Hunter.
No,
and
that
went,
was
yeah.
no. So it's actually like halfway through the episode is when, because I was listening to prepare for this one just earlier today, actually. So like halfway through the episode, you land on Hunter x Hunter, and then you get to my drop list, and you're like, "Oh, he's already seen it, and he dropped it." And that was the funniest part of just like when I was first editing the episode, listening through, and being like, "Oh, they don't know."
We did not know.
I'm glad you at least realized, which made it funnier. So, but yeah, I guess I'll commit here to at least watching the rest of the Hunter exam. You know.
Good. Yeah, and then you can continue watching the rest of it because by then you'll be enjoying it.
I genuinely, hand on heart, think you will love the York New City arc. It has like kind of like it is the closest thing I could compare like Full Metal Alchemist style like political theater while also being an action anime to anything else. Like York New City arc does that very well.
All right, you know.
You've got like the different factions, you've got people pulling the strings from behind, you don't really know what's going on. You also don't really know who your enemy is, kind of like in Full Metal Alchemist for a lot of it. I think you will really enjoy York New City.
I concur.
Yeah, I mean that does sound appealing to me. So, you've given me hope that I can enjoy this. I just also thought it was funny that you mentioned that I liked Yu Yu Hakusho, and I think you've played up my enjoyment of the show somewhat. Because yes, I do.
You bought the box set. This is not me playing it up.
Yeah, dude, if you have the box set.
Oh, man.
I guess I do have that.
You're not dodging the allegations here, Nick.
Yeah. Anyways, is there anything else you'd like to bring up, or should I just go for some
Oh,
of these?
of course. You thought I think it was just that?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I have a whole list. I wrote a response to
Okay.
basically
This
everything.
is by far the most baffling point to me. There's like several shows on here where you got over halfway done with the season.
I actually have a note specifically here aimed at Christian, because you have so many shows on your list too that you've gotten to like 8 out of 12, 9 out of 12, 7 out of 12. There's one that's like 20 out of 27. No, but they're all in your dropped.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing: you can't hold Christian accountable to that. He doesn't actually watch them; they're just on the side. So who knows how many episodes he actually absorbed?
That's true. So yeah, let's go through some of these. So I think one you specifically called out in the episode was 1 Week Friends, which is one I kind of unintentionally dropped. It's the sort of thing that I had on, was kind of like casually watching, and then I was just like really busy for like a week or two, and then I like just kind of forgot about the show. And I do have a criticism of the show in that, so basically the premise here is there's a girl who, for reasons, has a 1 week memory. Every Monday her memory resets, and so
me too.
this one guy is determined to become her friend despite this. And they very quickly, like within this, I think it's like the second episode, they've basically written around the whole premise. And they're basically they just have a journal that they trade back and forth where they write down like everything that's happened. And so because of that, the entire premise is basically gone, because they proceed to just basically ignore the fact that her memory is 1 week long. It's like instantly forgotten. So like the premise, so basically I already had a problem with the show, but again, like kind of high tolerance for just like watching something anyways. So I had it like on as I was doing other things usually. And then I didn't return to it because, you know, I got busy, and then I also just remembered the fact that they ignored their entire premise. So yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it just your name but slightly different premise and bad? Like that's what it sounds like. Basically.
Okay, so it's been a while
like
since
that's how they
I've
figured it out in
seen-
Your Name.
I mean, I guess in Your Name they did. Well, it's been a while since I've seen that. I should rewatch it. but
slightly different
yeah.
premise because like they switched bodies, but like
Yeah.
that's how they figured it out. Is they figured out where people were by leaving journal notes.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of similar to that. I don't know. Basically, they just wrote themselves out of the premise very early on, so it already wasn't actually like the best show, anyways.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
I'm also going to make a statement here. Slight tangent. The Your Name audiobook is the most incomprehensible thing I've ever seen.
Huh?
I tried to listen to it, and they switch voices, but it's all written in third person anyways, so it's incredibly confusing.
Oh.
Fascinating choice.
Sorry, it just popped into my head because I listened to like an hour of it. It's only like 6 hours. I listened to like an hour of it, and I don't think I absorbed anything.
It's fine. We're all about tangents here.
Yeah.
That is true. We are, and cosines, of course.
What? What? Oh,
Aren't you supposed to be smart? That's a math
a
thing.
cheeky math joke. Well, you caught me off guard, man. We're talking about
You're supposed to be the smart one. The two of
and
you are
you
supposed
bring
to be
up math.
smarter than me.
Not on the weekends.
No. Brain is shut off on the weekends, you know? It's a 9 to
The
5
weekends-
kind of brain.
The weekends when we're playing Marvel Rivals, peak low brain activity.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go to another one that I am sure Christian has questions about, which is Shy. I dropped this at a very specific moment where they have like the world's best hero or whatever show up and like challenge Shy to prove that she's worth it. I just hated that whole entire thing. It's like 2.5 episodes, and I just hated it, and I just dropped the show.
Fair enough,
I don't know what it was about it, like specifically at this point, but I remember just like hating the entire thing. So yeah, they finished that, and I was just like, all right, I'm also done here. Cool. I honestly at this point don't fully remember what about it made me so mad, but I remember actually like hating those two.
Well, the guy was kind of a dick.
He was kind of a dick, but I don't know, just there was something about her having to prove herself that just really pissed me off. Feminism.
I wasn't too bothered by it, really. I was like one of the less memorable parts of the show for me.
So I have a good segue from like that opinion you have to another one where you made the joke feminism, and you dropped My Happy Marriage, and you've told me why before.
Yeah,
you've told me because you don't like the shows where like, and I agree with you, I don't either, where like the woman is super dependent on the man and like they do everything. You dropped it, and I looked this up this morning. Episode 9 is when that stops. You dropped it after episode 8.
I don't know. I've heard that she continues to just constantly be like, my husband. Just like, that's all she says.
She is obsessed with him, but she becomes the one that's like the driving force for everything after that. It is like episode 9 is when like it starts to shift, and then like episode 10, 11, and 12, she solves all of the problems, and then the second season is all about her being the important one. And it's about him like taking a backseat and not knowing how to handle that.
I don't know. That's a much tougher sell for me. I mean, I guess I could start from episode 9 and be like, oh yeah, this show is great.
And I'm not saying you have to like pick it up. I just find it very funny that like that's the reason you dropped it, and you just happened to drop it then.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, because it's one of the few recommendations of yours I've picked up, I did give it more of a shot. That's why I gave it. That's actually.
He doesn't listen to me, viewers.
Yeah, that's what I heard from that statement.
He chooses to ignore my recommendations all the time.
Yeah, he never listens to the Michael recommendations. But just this once, he will give it a little bit longer of a try. But he still dropped it eventually.
Yeah. I do want to. So
he also dropped Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah, I was about to. I was about to segue into Apothecary Diaries, which wasn't brought up on the podcast because I hadn't started watching it yet. But I also watched that for 8 episodes. Again, giving it more of a shot since I was listening to you for once. And I just didn't like it.
Yeah. I am amazed So I can see why you don't like My Happy Marriage for sure.
Mm.
Apothecary Diaries has everything you should like in a show.
It doesn't, what does it have? So, okay, first off, based off the title, maybe you're thinking like old school medical drama. It doesn't have that. Okay, so there's no like.
Because you gave up 8 episodes in.
No, it just doesn't have that.
Haven't got there yet, Nick.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's 8 episodes in and they don't have it yet.
Nick, he's like 2 episodes away from having to figure out why someone's poisoning one of the other main girls, and it becomes a murder mystery for like 6 episodes. Then we flip and we go to like this whole context where she has to discover why people are sneaking in and out of the palace and how one of them died and comes back to life medically. How? And it's right there, Nick. It's right there.
I don't know. They should have had so. There's no in the first 8 episodes.
Exposition.
No, because there's nothing. So basically, in terms of like any of sort of medical issues, there's no real drama. She just basically knows it. She's just like, oh yeah, here's what's going on. Here's the solution.
Because you have to set up that she's a genius. You're only 8 episodes into a 56 episode anime.
It's not even 56 episodes. Okay, it's 48. Calm down. It's 48, I'm pretty sure. So it's also, it sounds like it might, but it's not really a mystery show because, again, she knows everything, just like immediately. There's like 2 seconds of deduction. You as the viewer never get a chance to like think about it because she already has the answer by the time you might have started thinking about it. There's like the elements almost of a political thriller, at least between the concubines and like who's gonna become the empress or whatever. But they don't really get too deep into that in those 8 episodes.
Episodes in? How are they gonna have a political thriller in 8 episodes?
Nick over here like, yeah, I'm pretty resilient when it comes to dropping things. And then he's like, but I got 8 episodes in, now I'm gonna criticize this show's structure and not watch any more of it.
I'm telling you, because they haven't shown me any of these elements being there in like a significant way. So I don't know what the show is 8 episodes in. Because if it's not a medical drama, it's not really a mystery, it's not really a political thriller, then we're left at basically just being there for Mao Mao, who is an okay character. Jinchi, you know, he's there. Okay, one thing I've already I'm pretty sure I've deduced here is what Jinchi's real identity is, which if that was meant to be a mystery or not, I don't know.
Who do you think Jinchi is? Who do you think Jinchi is? I'm not going to tell you, but...
I think he's the brother to the Emperor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if that's what you think, right, and he's decided to take on another persona in the rear palace for his brother, what do you think's going to happen in about 10, 15 episodes?
Well, the identity's probably going to get revealed in that time, you know? They're finally going to realize
and so we're watching a show that could potentially be a political thriller, and it's setting up for something, and you're saying it's not a political thriller at all.
I don't feel like it's shown me enough intrigue to be a political thriller yet. There are the elements, like, it's if you had the ingredients to go make a recipe, but you weren't going to actually do it, you know? They're just, like, sitting there in your pantry, like, waiting, you know? Like, there's not even, like, the beginnings. Like, no one's pulling out, like, the pots and pans to start cooking. It's just, like, all sitting there with nothing happening.
So basically what you're telling me here is we're in a period of time that is between lunch and dinner. And you're upset that it is not already dinner time. Are you I'm curious here. Because that's what my cat is like. She's mad that it's not dinner time yet.
I guess I want this. There hasn't been enough of the like, really providing me that kind of interest or intrigue to want to find out what's going to happen at this stage in the show. Because at this stage in the show, again, medical drama, or if it's mystery, those elements aren't really being left up to you as the viewer to ever really think about. And then, like, again, the political thriller side, like, they have all of the things that could lean in that direction, but they don't really seem to be taking it in that direction from what I've seen. And then also, you know, you keep mentioning this as like a romantic thing, and I just like Jinchi and Mama, I guess.
That does come like way later.
Yeah, right now it's just like I'm not seeing it, you know.
Let me ask you this though, Nick. Let me ask you this: are you a medical expert?
No.
How the fuck are you supposed to come up with
what's
wrong with
no. Okay, no. I'm more so saying if it's a mystery show, because many of these are presented as like, moo, what's going on? In that time, if it was like a mystery show, I would expect like some clues to be given that, in theory, I could come up with like a solution. Thinking of like Erased, which is a pretty short show, that is one where there is the clues and elements given that I could be like, oh, here's what's going on. Whereas in this show, there's never the time for that. In terms of medical drama,
you're looking for a show. You're looking for a show that's more like, oh yes, this character seems to be limping. Perhaps they've stubbed their toe.
Yeah. Well, so if I'm gonna watch like a medical drama, then I would expect there to be a bit more time between like symptoms appear and solution is given than what this show does, which is there are 5 seconds in between that, because again, Mao Mao is a genius, and so there's no they're taking the drama out of medical drama. It is at that point just like throwing herbs at someone, like that's not interesting.
What's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna clip this entire segment about Apothecary Diaries, and I'm gonna send it to Matthew, and then Matthew's gonna write you a letter about how wrong you are about all of this, because you're saying so many things that you're like 2 or 3 episodes from happening, and it's hilarious. Like there's so many things where you're like, there's no mystery because she always gets it right. We've set up that she always gets it right, so that when you get to the time where she doesn't know what's happening, and now we've got like a 5-episode mystery of somebody's dying and she can't explain why, and we've got all these political drama things going on in the background that maybe make it so that the servant girl who's now a lady in waiting is not treated very well by people, and it makes it really difficult for her to do her job. Maybe we get some of the drama you're looking for.
I gotta be honest, Nick. The whole explanation really sounds like you asking why wasn't the entire show contained within 8 episodes?
Exactly.
That is what he's asking. But you know what? We are all busy. I can get.
No, so this is again where we can debate whether or not the 3-episode rule again is something that applies. It's really just the idea that the show should fairly early on, I think, show me what it's going to be. And I think that I'm a third of the way through the first season, and I still don't really see those elements, essentially, is my argument. So basically, if by like episode 6, we were getting to what I've apparently just missed by dropping on episode 8, is that's basically what I would want shows to be doing, is like show me fairly early on kind of what to expect. And so if there was a bit more time, like, yes, she does always get it right, but it takes her not 5 seconds, that would be a bit more interesting to me and probably keep me there.
I get what you're saying, Nick. I get what you're saying. Like, I do agree that it sucks when a show is like can't find its own plot within the first few episodes. But like from what you described, I haven't watched the show. From what you described, it does. I get the sense that it's building up to something, right? And it's like if they're putting the pieces together, there's no reason to rush it.
Yeah. I mean, I can enjoy a good slow burn too. Don't get me wrong.
If you say so.
But
yeah, sure.
To me, there has been enough of that left set up here. Like kind of maybe like I can definitely see on Especially more like if it's going like more political route. There, it's probably done the most to set up, but it still hasn't made me interested enough, I guess. There, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess you'll just have to watch the whole show again and then come to a different conclusion.
I think that might be what it is. You gotta watch the show.
Yeah, you gotta watch the whole show again and come to a different conclusion. But we should probably move on, lest this become the Apothecary Diaries episode.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, Nick.
Yeah.
While you've been droning on about the Apothecary Diaries and your incorrect opinions for a show I haven't watched.
Yeah, I know, that's what's hilarious. I haven't watched this either.
I was examining my dropped page to attempt to refute your claim that I do the same thing. And you know what? My bad. Almost every show I've dropped is like halfway through the show.
Yeah,
but for someone who says they're resilient, you clearly haven't recognized that that's just my drop range. 5 to 8 episodes is when I drop a show.
Okay.
It has to be like something truly horrible for me to drop it, or I have to be like personally insulted by the first episode. So like, if you look at my,
no, I was scrolling through and I just happened to land on one right as you said that, which is Oshinoko. Which, to be fair, Oshinoko, the first episode is 90 minutes long. So,
yeah,
in terms of normal length, it's actually... in terms of normal episode length, it's actually like 3 episodes.
I watched fucking 90 minutes and like the story just didn't even get started. It was like some pre-story bullshit.
So I haven't watched the show.
Get me the fuck out of there.
I have actually read the whole manga for various reasons. And basically, in the manga, this is like prefaced as like prologue, and it's basically, I think, just like the first volume, and yeah, it's basically stuff that happened like 16 years before the main events that is setting up what's going on now. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it because I have watched the actual show. So. Yeah, it's I'm just saying,
don't give me a 90-minute prologue to watch, and I'll watch your show for more than one episode. But also some of the other episodes or other shows that I've only made it through like 3 or less episodes of are the likes of Mushoku Tensei and Rent a Girlfriend. So
Mushoku Tensei.
So there's your sign that my drop range is just a little bit higher than yours, Nick.
Yeah.
I will also say I'm looking at my dropped list.
You only have like 5 things.
I have 5 dropped shows, and 3 of them are Sword Art Online sequels.
You just keep going back, and they keep letting you down.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. So I will say, I'm very harsh on the sequels of Sword Art Online, and I gave Alicization a 3. I think that's unfair. It is better than that. Gun Gale and Sword Art Online 2 might be the worst things I've ever watched.
Yeah.
I also just
noticed
Alicization
was okay.
At least because of how I organize this list, or rather, maybe you do. I don't know. It's sorted by score, and you have 5 things, and they just happen to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's because that's the order in which I dropped them, because I have them in order of like when I watched them.
Can you link your profile, Michael? I can't find it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
You can also look at my followers or the people I
follow. I tried to do that. I can't find it.
It's in there. It's in the Discord.
You can also look at the episode description of the last episode.
I don't need your help. Michael has linked me his profile.
Yeah, shut up, Nick.
I show up just to be bullied.
I will also say something that I really vibed with during your intro is I also have a tendency to only watch things that I enjoy. Like it's weird how that happens. Like I enjoy a lot.
I don't think that's weird.
No. What I'm saying is like I watch stuff and I enjoy it whether it's good or not. Like it's very weird for me. Like there are things that people like genuinely think are terrible, and I'll watch it and I'll be like, yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is me watching a full like 12 episode season of a show just so I can fully shit on it in my review.
Well, yeah. So this is what I'm saying is, if I were to, rather than drop things but watch the whole thing, I could more thoroughly explain like why I don't like the thing. Then I've dropped it after 3 episodes, so now it is harder for me to put into words what exactly I disliked because I've experienced less of it.
I'm seeing some things on my list that I should probably change.
We're gonna have to do an episode of re-rating everything.
Well, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I put Zom 100 in the same tier as Yuri on Ice, and I just don't think that's correct.
Which one are you saying is better?
Yuri on Ice.
Okay.
I think Zom 100's a 6, and I gave it a 7, and I don't know why.
For you and your
Let me
numbers.
sort by title so I can actually like find things on your list. Zom 100. Okay.
Oh, it's Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
I don't know why you hate the Mugen Train movie, but not bad. Like, okay,
I did not like that movie, dude.
Every time we talk about anime, Christian goes, "Well, it wasn't as bad as that Train movie." Why do you hate it so much?
I didn't enjoy it.
Sometimes you
You
just
talk
don't
about it
like
like-
things, you know?
Sometimes you hate things, Michael, and then the
That's
problem.
fine, but he talks about it like it's an affront to God.
Well, the problem, Michael, is that I didn't like it, but everyone else likes it. Oh, there you go. I mean, I have an 8.
Yeah, the movie is good. The season of the show is not very good. The movie is good.
You know what? You know what I have like as the best proof to like how I feel about Mugen Train, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what happens in the movie. I watched the whole movie, not even as on the side. I watched the whole movie. I could not tell you what happens. Oh no, that one guy. Oh no, okay, I don't want to do spoilers.
We've already done a few spoilers.
Spoilers for a movie from years ago.
I don't remember when it came out. I don't remember anything about this movie. I know that one guy dies at the end, and that's it.
Now you know someone dies for anyone who has not watched Demon Slayer. And
I mean, to
didn't
be
want
fair, like I
spoiled.
said last time, I was criticized for spoiling Demon Slayer. That's the end of like every Demon Slayer movie or arc. Someone just dies.
I'm looking through my list, and I'm like, there are plenty of things that I like. There are shows that are on here that I don't remember what happened in, Christian. Like, I don't think that's that.
Well, no,
Added
but Michael, my memory is a little bit better than yours, perhaps.
Sure. But like, I don't remember. Like, I'm looking at and I just watched these, the Violet Evergardens. I don't remember the difference between each season. Like, I don't remember what happened when. I remember I know like
what happened in the show, right?
It's weird you say that between the different seasons because there is a season, a special, and a movie. There's not.
Oh, no. Netflix splits it into 2 seasons for some
Wait, hold on,
No,
Michael. You should never link to
I
your
watched
profile,
it
by
on
the way.
Netflix. I can tell
I
you.
swear it split it into 2
No.
seasons.
Michael, isn't the Hashira training arc the thing you said that's the one I should watch? But then you gave it a 6.
No,
that's
we
what
talked
I'm
about
talking
that Hashira is really bad. We discussed that one on the Crunchyroll episode. How
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember.
Entertainment District's the one you should watch.
Entertainment District. Okay.
Which I gave a 9 out of 10 because it is peak Demon Slayer.
Oh wait, I was wrong. It's actually 2 movies. So it's the season, the special, and the 2 movies for Violet Evergarden.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of then.
Yeah.
I also have noticed that you've given Nichijou a 7, and I'm saddened by this.
I like plot stuff, so me giving a show with like no plot a 7 is a really like big.
Yeah, no taste.
Uh,
I am looking at all my Pokemon opinions. For the listeners, we're watching all of the Pokemon movies in order in our friend group. And I'm looking at some of my Pokemon opinions, which are from like my memory before we watched them. And I think I would change some of them. having rewatched some of them recently, I think some things are moving down.
yeah. I know you actually called out some of that in the last episode, but I was going to save that for whenever we most likely actually do an episode on the Pokemon movies. So
Someday we'll finish watching Pokemon.
yeah.
We'll get through them eventually.
All right, I'm gonna call out something here that Michael called me out for, which was
Yeah, let's get back to Nick. Let's focus on Nick's main subject.
He was unhappy that I scored Castle in the Sky so highly, which really just means that it shows up as an 8. I just have it as a smiley face. But he has this rated as a 3, which I consider a crime because
it is the only bad Miyazaki movie.
That is just while it is just like a fun like adventure movie.
Michael
like
needs a plot.
What?
I need a plot. There's nothing going on in that fucking movie.
What do you mean?
Nick, I need you to know I love Miyazaki movies. I fell asleep while watching this.
You didn't like the pirates? You didn't like the castle in the sky?
No, the castle in the sky was boring. I don't care. I would rather watch Howl's Moving Castle. It is such a better movie.
Oh no,
such a better movie.
I'm willing to agree that Howl's Moving Castle is a better movie, but I feel like a 3 for Castle in the Sky is just like incredibly low. It is not that
So
bad.
I'm looking at the two things that I gave 4s, which is Dragon Ball GT and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3's second half. I think I would rather watch those two than I would Castle in the Sky.
See,
and therefore, I gave those 4s.
I can see how you got there, but if that's your reasoning, I mean, I haven't watched Dragon Ball GT or, well, actually, I just haven't watched any of Dragon Ball or any of JoJo's, so I can't really say anything about them, but,
Okay. Have you watched, let's look at my 5s then. See if there's any 5s you've watched. Death Note. I would rather watch Death Note than Castle in the Sky.
That is wild.
That's a bullshit.
That's
a bullshit, Michael.
Crazy.
No. So, and hear me out on this. I have now watched Death Note twice. I have seen Castle in the Sky 0.5 times because I fell asleep in the middle of it.
Maybe that's the problem.
If I can't stay awake during the movie, Nick, that is just like your argument about Apothecary Diaries.
What did you start the movie at like 11 p.m. or something?
No, we were watching it at like 3 in the afternoon.
After like a long day of
That's a prime nap time, you know? That's the problem.
You want to know what I had done that day? And this is the funniest part about it. We had gone to a coffee shop that day.
And then you drank 5 bottles of liquor.
No, I had coffee, and that was it. And then we watched the movie, and I hated it.
I know how you are, Mike.
So I've been watching the Ghibli movies that I haven't seen like fairly recently, like over the past month or two. So for me, it's like also a fairly recent thing, but yeah, I don't know. To me, that was just crazy learning that you scored it a 3. I think it's just like a fun adventure. I will say that there is less of a plot. It is very much just like they are on this like
I tell you what,
fun
I'll watch
fantasy
it sometime.
thing.
I can give you guys a definitive opinion, of course.
Yeah. You do that. You tell us what to think of it. You know, I do rely on your opinions.
Of course.
I think I would rather watch Dragon Ball GT.
I haven't watched
Dragon
Ball GT.
Ball this guy's gotta be a 3.
Hey, I get the logic, but also I disagree. What are some other things I can call out here? Let's talk a little bit about My Hero Academia. You know,
Why?
well,
Mixed bag.
so basically, I have seen some of the show during, I believe it's in season 2. Yeah, a couple episodes during season 2 of the sports tournament arc. I honestly actually couldn't tell you anything that happens in that anymore of what I seen.
You watched 2 episodes without watching the rest of the show that came before it. Of course, you don't remember it.
Oh, well, so part of my criticism is there's so many goddamn flashbacks, and they're all to the same moment of Deku getting his powers. Like, every
Well,
2
you
seconds,
should-
they're like, do you remember this? And I'm just
Nick,
like,
you should-
my
They were
fucking
really mad
god, did
about
I
that.
did I need to... I don't feel like I need to watch the first season because they show that to me, and I assume that's all that happens, you know?
Nick, after hearing this, I need you to watch some Demon Slayer and give me your opinion about that now. That's like Demon Slayer is like the king of flashbacks.
Flashbacks are, I think there is a place for them, and I think that many anime do not use them well. And to some extent, I get it, because especially if we're talking like older things, it's coming out once a week. Maybe it's on a break because they're catching up on subtitles or something. Who knows? Or dubbing. And I kind of get it in that like older format of you maybe need to remind a bit more often. But My Hero Academia started like a decade ago when
Really?
streaming. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
So
been a
it
while.
started in 2016, I believe.
Sheesh.
And I think it was like one of the last shows of the era of like, we're gonna air this like on TV, right? Like it was actually like a wait until 8 p.m. on this day, and it'll be live on your television, and then it'll be streaming like a couple days later. It was like one of the last shows that did that, as opposed to like, it's live on streaming platforms this time, everyone go fucking watch it.
yeah. So to me, it's so much more in like the streaming era where. To me, that's just like unacceptable. You don't need to flashback every
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I will actually agree with you on that.
That's really all I remember about the show. And yes, I did start just like however many episodes in, no other context, to seeing these like 3 or 4 episodes or whatever I saw. So yeah.
So I'll defend my opinion on My Hero Academia, because I've got season 1 and season 2, which is what you're talking about effectively, both as a 9 out of 10. I think if you can move past, because I agree, there are especially in season 2, there are way too many flashbacks to season 1. But if you can move past that, the actual story and the character dynamics of everything going on is fantastic. It's just, especially season 2, like season 1 doesn't have that problem, because obviously what the fuck are they going to flash back to? Nothing's happening.
First episode.
That would be great if they did.
They actually
They
do
do.
that.
No, they
in
do. They do it.
Haruhi, which I think is
This is not a
hilarious.
joke.
Oh god.
But season 2, like the first like 4 or 5 episodes of the sport tournament is like egregious for that, and then they just throw all of that out the window and do something completely different. And that's like, once you get to that point, season 2 is also really good. Once they get past the need to like tell you of Deku's so strong and All Might did this and that's how season 1 went. Once they get past that BS, the season's actually really good.
There's some really good moments in My Hero, but I'm not gonna defend the show or like put it as a.
Oh, the
9.
show as a whole, no, I'm not gonna defend
Oh
it.
yeah, no.
Even the first 2 seasons, I'm not gonna defend that shit, man.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
some good moments.
your
but-
discussion of the show was very much that you two would have to like get your hands on it and edit it into something, and
Oh yeah.
I
then
fully stand
maybe
by
I
that.
would enjoy it. But
I
as
think
is,
the first 4 seasons of My Hero Academia are really good, and then the rest of it is like such a mixed bag. You'll have like 5 episode stretches that are like peak anime, and then you'll have 5 episode stretches that are like the worst thing you've ever seen after season 4. And I'm like, why did they do this? Like I'm going on a roller coaster of emotions. If you're giving me like this really cool arc where we're following the villains and we're learning that the villains are like people too, and they have real problems with the heroes that they've caused. Like the heroes have made a system that is terrible for people, and they're, that's why they ended up this way. It's really interesting. And then you go to the next part, and for some reason we have a person who's basically sitting on their own in a chair for like 5 episodes, and that's all it is. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Just one thing or the other. Rant over. I think I gave season 5 of My Hero Academia like a 5 or a 6.
You give it a 6.
Give it
man.
a 5. Give it a 5.
Okay.
No.
Oh
Well,
yeah, there it is. 5 for 5.
the good news is the
Which
show...
in my rating is bad. That if a 5 is
Yes, because you
only
don't
put
believe
it on
in
if
the
you got
number
nothing
below
else to
3.
watch.
I was just gonna throw in real quick that the last season started yesterday or today from when we're recording.
Thank God.
So,
It
it'll
finally
all
end.
be over soon.
Yo, I might tune into. Like,
Oh, be over.
did we already get past the part where Bakugo dies briefly?
I have no idea.
Spoilers. Jesus.
Who fucking cares, dude? Fuck that show.
I don't actually know anything that happens after season 5 of My Hero Academia aside from the last chapter of the manga because I find it so funny.
Yeah, I might tune into the end just to see see that, laugh at that, and then I might watch the one where Bakugo dies.
It's
comes
funny
back
because
to
My
life.
Hero Academia actually is like what got me back into anime in
Oh,
college.
that's really funny. That's hilarious.
Like I'd kind of fallen out for like a year, basically. Like my senior year of high school, I didn't really watch like any anime. And then My Hero Academia was on when I was in college. I was like, yeah, I'll give this a try. I like superhero movies. Maybe I'll like this. I used to like anime. And I watched that. And then immediately after I watched that, I convinced Matthew and Andre to watch Yu Yu Hakusho with me because I had seen it before. I was like, I want to rewatch it. And then I was like fully back in.
I see.
And then we watched JoJo's and masterpiece. Nick, go watch JoJo's.
One day, maybe.
You will hate JoJo's. Don't watch it.
Don't
It is
watch
not for you.
JoJo's.
It is a good show. You will not like it.
Good.
You would maybe like part 2. I think you'd like part 2. I don't think you'd like any of the other parts.
You might like part 1.
I think part 1's too slow for him.
Yeah, what are they doing by episode 8,
Well, the season's only 8 episodes long.
Oh,
so the season's
perfect,
over. But the problem is to watch part 1 of JoJo's, you really only need episode 1, 2, 7, and 8.
Okay.
So you have a big gap of 4 episodes in the middle, half the season, that you just don't need. You can just skip it.
Well, great. That reminds me of, this is certainly a tangent because neither of you have watched this, but Haruhi Suzumiya, there is a infamous arc called Endless 8. It killed the show, in which basically a certain number of episodes had been ordered. And then they realized that one of the arcs that was going to be included was going to be too long, so they decided to break it out into a movie. And they did make that movie. It's excellent. But to replace the episodes, they took Endless 8, which is a time loop, and they made it 8 episodes. So I think it's only in the anime called Endless 8. I have no idea what it's called in like the manga or light novels, whatever the original is. So this time loop, there are subtle changes, but every episode is basically the exact same except for the first and last. So you have 6 episodes where they did actually go through the effort of animating unique frames for every single one. And I'm sure they even went through the effort of re-recording the audio that is basically the exact same for all 6 episodes. But it also means that these days, if you were going to watch it, you should watch like the first episode and the last one, and then just pretend you watched the other 6. A lot of effort absolutely killed the show at the time because, again, this was early 2000s, so it took like 2 months, and every week was just the same episode, completely uniquely animated, but the same episode.
Interesting.
I feel like that's one of those like art as television type things.
Mhm.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't
Yeah.
translate.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like a
Like,
neat
it's a
idea,
cool
but I
piece
can
of art.
see
No,
I can see how that would not work.
Really cool idea in theory, especially again that they went through this effort to, even if it's the same scene playing out, it's a new camera angle. So great effort. Kyoto Animation is very beloved for what they do. So cool art idea on their part. just miserable in execution. It doesn't work in the TV age because then you have people waiting 2 months for things to happen. And in the streaming age, if you're like binge watching, you're just sitting there for like 4 hours watching the same thing. So yeah.
I feel like making it 8 episodes may have been a bit long. Like maybe like
Yeah, I think it should have been
3 or 4 or
right?
something.
Yeah, no.
First
So
episode, an episode that's exactly the same to like build intrigue, and then the ending.
Yeah,
right?
so that's basically how I ended up watching it, because Matthew has actually watched the show, and I basically asked him like, should I watch all of them? Because I watched the first one, then I watched the second one, and then I was like, are all of these going to be the same except for the last one? So yeah, I just asked him like, what do you recommend here?
And you listen to his advice.
Yeah. That's why he needs to write me about the Apothecary Diaries. Yeah, no, once he writes me about the Apothecary Diaries,
I think this is just you thing, Michael. Nick listens to my advice all the time.
I have a lot of shows, especially in my dropped, are Christian recommendations. A lot of shows in my completed are also Christian recommendations, but it's more obvious in my dropped. Yeah.
Matthew finished Apothecary Diaries. He started and finished it before I did. Like, he started it after I watched it. Like, started watching it and recommended it to him. And then he finished it before I did. Like,
well, that's just because you're
so,
slow
yes,
to watch shows, you know? Like, when you were watching Full Metal Alchemist for the first time, I started well after you on my rewatch and finished well before you.
I watched Full Metal Alchemist in 13 days. How much faster do you want me to watch it?
I don't know. I watched it in like 5, maybe 4.
It's like I watched it in 1 day. I expect it to be done in a weekend.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, I think we've. I think I'm gonna lose my mind if we talk about this anymore.
We've got a bit off course. Any last gripes about yourself, Nick, before we close out?
Oh man, I mean, I have so many more things I could say here. I'm actually just gonna go to one from Christian that I dropped, which is Gate. Where I did watch the full first season, but I have to say, towards the end, it started losing me. I just, I don't feel like there was as much happening. Like, I felt like there was a good pace going, and then I felt like it was just slowing down. And so I dropped it early on in the second season, basically because I had watched an episode, but I hadn't actually, like, none of it had really entered my brain. So at that point, I ended up just like dropping the show and moving on. Yeah.
I recommend. I remember the second season being pretty fun too. So yeah, you missed out for sure, but
yeah.
At least you got to
watch Hunter, damn it.
Yeah, really, that's the message we need to send here.
Yeah, the message of last episode and this episode is Nick needs to watch Hunter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Well, before I kill everyone, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Thank you for listening once again to us talk about our bullshit here. You know, you can connect with us over on Blue Sky. We are at Hot Takes Reviews there. Also, obviously, find us on our website, hottakesreviews.com. We'll have various links here to both our wonderful artists, thank you again, as well as ourselves for anything. Well, I guess really only I'm active, but you know, we'll have links to various things in the description here, and we'll catch you guys next time then.
Bye.